Ever wonder why the most successful people you know are impossible to find online? While the world chases likes, digital ghosts are mastering a secret edge. Today, we're exposing the 5 rare traits of people who don't use social media and why their disappearance is actually their greatest superpower. Are you one of them? Chapter 1. High internal validation versus external likes. Imagine you just accomplished something huge. Maybe you finished a marathon, landed a promotion, or finally baked a loaf of bread that didn't look like a rock. What is the very first thing you want to do? For most of us, the instinct is to reach for the phone, snap a photo, and wait for the notifications to roll in. We have been conditioned to believe that if an event wasn't shared and liked, it almost didn't happen. But there is a specific group of people who feel zero urge to do this. These are the people with high internal validation. To understand this trait, you have to look at where a person's battery is located. Most social media users have an external battery. They need the sun of public approval to stay charged. Every like is a little spark of energy, and every comment is a confirmation that they are doing well. When the likes stop, the battery drains, leading to that anxious feeling of being forgotten or irrelevant. People who avoid social media have an internal battery. They possess a psychological trait where their sense of self-worth comes from the actual doing of the thing, not the telling of the thing. When they finish that marathon, the sweat on their skin and the clock in their hand are enough. They don't need a stranger in another time zone to hit a heart icon to feel successful. This creates a massive level of mental stability. Because they aren't riding the highs and lows of the algorithm, their mood stays consistent. They aren't searching for a mirror in everyone else's eyes to see if they look okay today. This kind of independence is rare. It allows a person to make decisions based on what they actually enjoy, rather than what will look good on a profile. They buy clothes they like, visit places they find interesting, and eat food while it's still hot, all without worrying about the aesthetic of the moment. It is a quiet, powerful confidence that most people find mysterious and even a bit intimidating. Living this way creates a much shorter path to happiness because you aren't waiting for permission from the internet to feel good about your life. It's a skill that takes practice, especially in a world that constantly begs for your attention. If you're finding this look into the invisible mindset helpful, you should join our community by subscribing to the channel. We explore these psychological deep dives regularly, and having you here helps us keep the conversation going without the noise of the main feed. By leaning into internal validation, these individuals protect their peace of mind. They aren't part of the approval race, which means they have a lot more energy left over for things that actually matter. They don't waste time editing their life to fit a square box, they just live it. This lack of distraction leads directly into their next superpower, which is their ability to focus in a way that seems almost superhuman in the modern age. Chapter 2. The Mastery of Deep Work and Focus. In an era where the average attention span is measured in seconds, the ability to concentrate is becoming a rare commodity. Most people live in a state of constant mental fragmentation. They start a task, but a vibration in their pocket pulls them away. They try to read a book, but an itch to check a notification breaks their flow. This is the digital tax that almost everyone pays daily. However, people who avoid social media have opted out of this tax entirely, allowing them to develop a trait known as deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. For someone who doesn't use social media, this isn't just a productivity hack, it is their natural baseline. Because they haven't trained their brains to crave a hit of dopamine every few minutes, their neural pathways are wired for endurance. They can sit with a complex problem, a difficult project, or a creative endeavor for hours at a time. While the rest of the world is busy multitasking, which is really just rapidly switching between distractions, these individuals are monotasking. This focus creates a massive competitive advantage. When you aren't constantly glancing at a feed to see what everyone else is doing, your brain has the space to go deeper into its own ideas. You aren't just skimming the surface of life, you are diving to the bottom. This is why you often find that top-tier craftsmen, deep-thinking philosophers, and high-level engineers are the ones most likely to be off the grid. They protect their focus like a precious resource because they know that true brilliance requires uninterrupted time. Without the noise of thousands of digital voices in their heads, their thoughts are clearer. They don't suffer from the mental residue that comes from seeing a frustrating political post or an envious vacation photo right before trying to work. Their mental workspace is clean. This allows them to finish tasks faster and at a much higher quality than those who are constantly interrupted by the digital world. They aren't smarter by birth, they are simply more present by choice. This intense presence doesn't just apply to their work, it transforms how they handle their private lives and who they choose to let into their inner circle. Chapter 3: Intentional Privacy and Selective Vulnerability. In a world where oversharing has become the default setting, there is something magnetic about a person you can't find on a search engine. We live in a time where people broadcast their breakups, their breakfasts, and their most private thoughts to thousands of strangers. But those who avoid social media operate on a completely different frequency. They possess the trait of intentional privacy. They don't see their life as a product to be consumed by an audience. They see it as a private garden that is only open to a few. This choice creates a layer of mystery that is increasingly rare. Because they aren't constantly updating a digital status, they force people to engage with them in the real world to find out how they are doing. This leads to much deeper, more meaningful connections. When they sit down for coffee with a friend, the conversation is fresh. They don't have to say, like I posted on my story yesterday, because there was no story. The information they share is given as a gift to the person sitting across from them, rather than a broadcast to the masses. This trait is rooted in a belief that vulnerability should be earned. People who stay off social media understand that intimacy and reach are two very different things. They choose to be selectively vulnerable, sharing their true selves only with people who have proven they are trustworthy. This protects them from the vulnerability hangover that many feel after posting something personal online and receiving a cold or judgmental reaction from strangers. By keeping their private life private, they maintain a sense of dignity and control over their own narrative. Furthermore, this intentionality shields them from the pressure of personal branding. They don't feel the need to curate a perfect image or maintain a specific persona. They are free to change, to grow, and even to be inconsistent without a digital paper trail documenting every phase of their life. This freedom allows them to live authentically in the moment. They aren't worried about how a specific memory will look to a follower. They are only worried about how it feels to them. This boundary between the public and the private acts as a shield, preserving their mental energy for the people who actually matter. Chapter 4: Resistance to Comparison Culture. The human brain is naturally wired to compare itself to others. Thousands of years ago, this helped us understand our place in a tribe. However, social media has taken this survival instinct and turned it into a constant, painful loop. Most people spend their day looking at a curated gallery of everyone else's best moments, their most expensive vacations, their cleanest kitchens, and their most filtered faces. Even if we know it isn't real, our subconscious still feels the sting of falling short. People who avoid social media have a unique psychological shield against this comparison trap. Because they aren't constantly exposed to the highlight reels of thousands of people, they don't feel that persistent sense of falling behind. They aren't measuring their ordinary Tuesday against someone else's once-in-a-lifetime trip to the Maldives. This allows them to stay grounded in their own reality. Their baseline for what a good life looks like is based on their own experiences and values, not an artificial standard set by an influencer. This resistance to comparison leads to a much higher level of gratitude. When you aren't looking at what everyone else has, you are far more likely to appreciate what is right in front of you. These individuals don't feel the pressure to buy things just to show them off or to achieve milestones just to announce them. They aren't in a race with people they don't even know. This lack of competition creates a sense of peace that is almost impossible to find if you are constantly checking a feed. They are content with being average in the eyes of the internet because they know that their internal life is rich and fulfilling. Without the noise of social comparison, they are also more supportive of the people around them. They don't view their friends as competitors for attention or likes. When someone they know succeeds, they can be genuinely happy for them because they aren't viewing that success through the lens of their own perceived lack. By stepping out of the digital arena, they have opted out of the status games that consume so much of our modern energy. They have realized that the only person they truly need to be better than is the person they were yesterday. And that is a much healthier way to live. Chapter 5, Presence and the Analog First Mindset. Have you ever looked around at a beautiful sunset or a live concert and realized that almost everyone is viewing it through a 5-inch glass screen? We have become a society of recorders rather than participants. We are so concerned with capturing the moment for later that we forget to actually live it now. People who stay off social media possess the rare trait of true presence. They operate with an analog-first mindset, meaning their primary commitment is to the physical world and the people physically standing in front of them. When a person isn't thinking about how to frame a photo or what caption would be the most clever, their brain is free to soak in the actual environment. Research suggests that when we take a photo of an event, we actually remember fewer details about the experience itself because we've outsourced our memory to a camera. Those who live without social media don't have this problem. They rely on their own senses, the smell of the air, the specific tone of a friend's voice, the feeling of the wind. Because they are fully there, their memories are often more vivid, and their emotional experiences are deeper. This presence also makes them incredible listeners. We all know the feeling of talking to someone who keeps glancing at their phone when it lights up. It makes us feel small and secondary. A person who has untethered themselves from the digital world gives you their full, undivided attention. They aren't waiting for a text or checking to see if a post has gained traction. This level of focus is a form of respect that has become incredibly scarce. It builds a level of trust and rapport that digital interaction simply cannot replicate. Choosing the analog world over the digital one also reduces baseline anxiety. These individuals aren't living in a state of constant readiness for a notification. They are comfortable with silence, and they don't fear boredom. In fact, they view boredom as a space where new ideas are born. By being present in the here and now, they avoid the stress of the everywhere and always that social media demands. They are the masters of their own time, proving that the most beautiful moments in life don't need a filter to be significant. They just need someone to be there to witness them. Choosing to be a digital ghost isn't about hiding, it's about reclaiming your life. If you recognize these traits in yourself, or if you're ready to trade the scroll for true presence, welcome to the club. To keep exploring the psychology of a focused life, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Now, I want to hear from you. Which of these traits do you find the most difficult to maintain today? Comment below.